$750 billion in market cap. That's what SpaceX has shed since Cramer tweeted, "I clock SpaceX going up 1 point per hour." The stock rolled over within hours. We got a 16% down day Monday, and yet Cathie Wood bought another $35 million on the dip. Let's find out on this edition of the Options Math Check when it comes down to SpaceX, what's going on here. So we got SpaceX pulled up here, and what goes up, goes down, can go up fast as well. Float is 3 to 5%. Retail loaded up on $220 and $250 calls. Dealers had to buy stocks to hedge, and that's your gamma squeeze. Same mechanism as GameStop. The same flow runs in reverse on the way down, which is exactly what we just saw. Now, when we're looking at Micron, I think when it comes down to it, front week IV peaked at 244%, which is crazy, but not too crazy at the same time. You always have this kind of stuff happen with IV around IPOs. Sitting near 169 right now, and when you look at the situation at hand, we've got plenty of implied volatility, realized volatility, 150 right now pre-market. I think there's plenty of room to the upside, but we're back down to levels that we IPO'd at. So long dated vol at 78. We talked about this yesterday too. There's a big gap between the near term vol and the long term vol. And one of the really interesting things that we had with Kevin on yesterday was just the fact that you have spread out implied volatility and spread out optimism and options trading around SpaceX. So I think when it comes to where we're looking with SpaceX, you got long-term investors with these leap options. You've got near-term traders with the super high implied volatility. But yeah, I think when it comes to what we could see, the world is SpaceX oyster. What do you think, Jermal?
The volatility has gone back up, that's for sure, as you would imagine. And in the near term, it's over 100. Just a couple of days ago, we were looking at it and it was like 90. And literally yesterday morning, I feel we were looking at it, and it was 90 volatility in the front month. And now it's back over 100, 132 for June 26 expiration to be exact, and 113 for the next week. So you can just see, just from this move back towards that opening print, like you mentioned, you can see all of a sudden volatility is getting back up, which of course means expected moves are starting to grow just a little bit more again. So I got to tell you, this is not that surprising. I think just about all of us seasoned traders, you asked us, it's like, do you have a position? Yeah, you might have a position like I do in the trade account, but do you have did you buy stock? Did you get into it? I think this is why we've kind of told people personally that we know, just kind of wait and let it settle a little bit and let's see what happens, because it's going to move around a lot in the beginning. Yeah,
and when you look at July and August, just looking at the Straddle price here, and the Tasty platform gives you this nice plus minus number relative to implied volatility, and that's extrapolated through time. So traditionally, implied volatility is presented on an annual basis, but when you have 100% IV with only 24 days, that doesn't mean a plus minus 150 point move. It's plus minus 28 points here. So looking at the Straddle price for July gives you a good idea of similar to this expected move. We're basically just looking at the pure extrinsic value for the Straddle price for these expirations. And you're looking at, 20%, almost a 30-point implied move over the next 24 days, which is, it's not surprising. We've seen this before with other IPOs, and with so much adoption in SpaceX, I think it makes a lot of sense. But we also mentioned yesterday, if you're trading this thing, I think you got to be careful with your entry points. I mean, SpaceX long-term, I think, has a lot of room to run. But in the near term, you're still going to see this kind of near-term price discovery where you have these huge moves in either direction. And this is continuing to be the volume leader for a lot of the tech space.
For sure. And with a day like we got coming up on tap today, we're already down 1.5%. I expect it to be the volume leader again, not only in stock, but probably in options. And again, the 1.5% is just in the ES. NASDAQ is obviously a lot more meaningful. We're down 3% there already. So it could be a day, Mikey. It could be a day. We'll see.
Yeah. And last thing with SpaceX, just looking at Skew. I like to look at this all the time whenever we're looking at implied moves for different products. You've got it down a little bit pre-market, so these numbers will adjust once we open. But 130 strike trading at $5. That's 20 points out of the money. The 170 strike, 20 points out of the money to the upside, trading for $9.20. So you have massive call skew here, which I think really is interesting for those bullish traders out there, because we say this time and time again, if you've got call skew on the upside, having a short premium component on the upside really helps reduce cost basis. And just looking at a standard calendar spread, if you buy the 170 in August, lower implied volatility reading there, and you sell the 170 in July, you're reducing cost basis by more than 50% to the upside. And if you look at the downside, you are still reducing cost basis in a big way, but it's not as much from a percentage basis. You're paying $1,000, a little bit more than $1,000 for that long put in August. And the short put here is trading for $5. So you're going to always have that kind of better cost basis reduction to the upside with call skew. And not only that, like we look at this traditional basic trade, for lack of better phrases, with a calendar spread, but when you think about butterflies and broken wing butterflies and broken heart butterflies, all these different butterfly variants, especially if you're bullish to the upside, you're going to be able to reduce cost basis and get into a cheaper butterfly in that same way.
Yeah, for sure. And I do have some of these calendar spreads. I did call calendar spreads. I did put calendar spreads. The put calendar spreads are just about in the money. I have the 175 spread, which is in the money, and these are all September, August. So I mean, these are ways off. And I have the 175 calendar spread. I have the 150 calendar spread. Obviously, the 175 is in the money. 150 is almost there, and then I got the 125. And I mean, I'm not really making money on them, but I'm not that surprised by it too, because volatility kind of came in along with both of them, maybe even a little bit more in the further out, which is fine. I mean, it really is, but it allows me to kind of have these spreads on. It allows me to keep tabs on what's going on with the name right now. And, eventually I'll probably work my way into something else. Other than that, I guess, it's probably getting to a point where maybe something along this order, whether it's a butterfly or some other type of spread, put spread is probably interesting, but no major stock positions, no leaps or anything as of right now. I'm just gonna kind of wait it out and see, because there's a lot changing in here. Like we said, that's what the options math is showing me.
Yeah, and I just pulled up a 20-point wide butterfly on each side. Downside is trading for $4 in July. Upside, just slightly out of the money, trading for like $2.80. So I'm gonna throw that on right in the open. I think if you're bullish, like we're back at IPO prices. So. Yeah. I'm going to throw that on in July, and I think that makes a lot of sense, especially if you're bullish. But keep your risk defined. This is going to fly around. It's 100% IV product at the end of the day. But yeah, that's the math check for SpaceX. Hopefully you enjoyed it.